and welcome back to another video. Though I am recording the vlog for July, my main project is promoting my literary works right now. And also I'm reading off of a script for my intro. If you've seen my latest short, you notice that I now have a website, an Instagram, and an email list all dedicated to writing. Those will be linked below to continue on the trail of promoting my book. I've decided to give myself an interview to provide some insight on my creative process. Without further ado, let's begin. And I'll just show you guys I don't know if you cannot see. I have 5 questions and an outro for this video. So I don't have any other script, just the questions, because if I started to write it out, I would have just gone overboard. So if I say yeah. So the first one is, as a new author, what intimidates me? And I was actually watching a video called Mistakes New Authors Make, and one of the things that the two ladies said was authors wait too long to promote their book, and that is definitely a flaw of mine. I'm too scared of people stealing my stuff, and I've always been that way when I used to do songwriting. And I guess I will link my songwriting, my musician channel down below. I'm not on there anymore, and I don't pay for the Spotify anymore, so my music got taken off of Spotify, but it's still on YouTube. And I won't say that I'm a good singer either. It was mostly the songwriting aspect that I liked. Yeah, so you can see that down below. But when I did songwriting, I was also very wary about people stealing my work and things like that. So stealing my work, I wait too long to promote, and I've been writing this since October of 2024, and I waited too long to promote it. And it's understandable because I had 400 pages written, and then I decided I should make this into 2 books because I still have a lot to write and I need to add on to the plot. So I made it into 2 books, and book 1 is coming out either I would say the beginning of next year. And book 2, I could not tell you that, but most of book 2 is already written. I just have to write, there's this kind of a spoiler, but since it doesn't come out for a long time, it doesn't matter. There's a war to end book 2, and it's like a war between the swords and the spirits, which you'll understand when the book comes out. But yes, I would say what intimidates me is putting my book out there, because I don't want people to steal my work. My art is what I value most, so someone stealing that would literally break me. So yes, that would be my flaw. Number 2, what is my book inspired by? Okay, so it's inspired by a lot. When I was younger, like 8 years old, I would write and post books on KDP, and they were not good. Let's put it that way. I mean, I was 8, so I was 8, but I've always believed in my own type of world, I guess you could say. So I would write out how I saw the world and the magical beings and all of that. So my book is inspired by that. And I don't think anyone would know that, because literally no one knew about the books. And I don't even know if I could find them on KDP or in my Google Docs. I don't know where those are anymore. But I used to do writings on paper and my own little poems, and my book is inspired by all the things I believe and believed. And yeah, it's it talks about the spirit world. It's about the spirit world and the separation between humans and the spirit world and the natural state of the world, which is magic. And I don't know, it sounds childish, but it really isn't. And when you're a fantasy reader, you will understand what I mean. Number 3 is describe each character and how they relate to me. Okay, so I have 5 characters. I feel like only if you follow me on my personal Instagram, you would know about my characters because I draw art and I post them. But there are 5 main characters. You could also see them on my Pinterest board, which is public. It's called CL Angel, and I will also link that below. But I have 5 main characters: Catalin, Catalin, Emery, Lorelai, Aurora, and Preston. Catalin, I would say, is really the main character. I mean, we get POVs from all of them. It's in third person, so it's not in anyone's specific mind. But Catalin, her full name is Catalin Angel Cast, and her initials CL Angel. So that's the name of my board, and that's the abbreviation of my pen name, Cleo Lyra CL. Yeah. So you could tell that she's the main character in the book, and a lot of book art, like book covers that I put out. The colors are and lilac or lavender, like this color, and a light blue, and those are the colors that describe her. So there's Catalin, and she's the main character. All of them are 18, but I don't know if I want to lower that to 17. I will be 17 by the time this book comes out, and definitely 18 by the time the next one comes out. But I'll tell you some things about Catalin. She is the hero archetype. She wants to save the world. She hates seeing evil in the world. And it's not even that she technically has trauma, it's that she's had revelations since she was little, and she cannot stand to just see bad prosper and to see suffering in the world, and she dedicates her life to ending the suffering of others. So I feel like this is a bit of a spoiler, but in the it might be the third or the second chapter, she finds out that she is a spirit because she's been living all 18 years of her life. She's been living in the country of Sunya, which is a country in the continent of Hadid. And I don't want to reveal a map yet. I will do that closer to when I'm getting to publishing. But Sunya, her and Emery are from Sunya. And Lorelai also lived in Sunya, but Lorelai moved to Alini, which is the other country in Hadid. And she moved to Alini after her parents divorced. So, yeah, there's that. But Catalin her whole thing is passion. I have a flower, a color, and a word for every single one of the characters. Catalin is passion, peony, the flower, and I would say lavender or cerulean light blue periwinkle, yeah. And she is a horse girly. They are going to all the characters are going to an academy called Forest Knowledge, or in my book, it's mainly written as FK. They are going to FK for a specialized interest for their senior year of schooling. And Catalin is going to be an equestrian, or she's studying horses, and she's also doing wildlife study, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And yeah, she's like me because she wants to help everybody, and she has the kindest soul. She's passionate about so much, and she cannot stand to see the evil in the world. And she's a dreamer. That's her whole thing. That's part of her magic. She's a dreamer, and she wants paradise, and less for herself, more for everyone else. And that's her flaw. She thinks about everyone else rather than herself. Next is Emery. Emery is Catalan and Lorelai's best friend. Um, she's a dancer. She's a theater girly. She is a musician. She plays the flute, but she's a musician. And I love theater. I played the clarinet, and what else did I say? Oh, dance. I did dance when I was younger for most of my life. So, yeah. And she's a moon child. That is her thing. Catalan is an ocean child. Ocean everything. She's a nymph. And, or her her parents are nymphs. I think her dad is a naiad and her mom is a nereid. I also don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but she is she's both, so she's connected to the ocean. So she is a spirit. Emery is not a spirit. She's out of the five of them, she's the only human, and I don't want to give away too much, but is she was the only one out of them that was born an aristocrat. She is a daughter of nobles, and her parents were awful to her growing up. They did not support her passions. They wanted her to get married. So her whole thing is she got her way into FK, and she is studying what she wants to without her parents' permission, and she's building a life for herself. And Emery is described as bold and strong. She's like, if you ever watch Winx, she is like Stella. And she's kind of the opposite of Stella, considering that she's a moon child, not a sun child. But she's Stella through and through. So very much that personality, or like Rarity from My Little Pony. Catalan would be Twilight Sparkle or Bloom from Winx. So yeah, that's Emery. Lorelai is much like Catalan in the sense that she's very spiritual and earthy, but while Catalan leans on the ocean, Lorelai is all about earth itself, the terrain, the land. So she's a witch. I kind of give away a spoiler. Oh my gosh. She's a human. She's a human. I won't say more than that. She's a human. But she's a witch, and her and Lorelai dated. But then it was when they were younger, and obviously Lorelai moved away, so they cut it off. And because of the amount of trauma from their families, they more so got with each other out of comfort, like needing someone to lean on, needing someone to be there for you. It was more so because of their pain that they were together. It wasn't for who they were. So they broke up, and they're still friends, but it is a bit awkward between them. And I will say it. One of the tropes in this book is a second chance romance. So do with that what you will. But Lorelai is a quiet thought daughter, definitely. While Catalan's the dreamer, Lorelai is full of nightmares. She worries. She's has this mental pain. I feel like she kind of would symbolize mental illnesses. I wouldn't lean too much on that because I don't have a mental illness, and I wouldn't want to portray that when I don't know too much about it. But I feel like a lot of people would relate to Lorelai on what internally happens to her. But she is... Oh, I didn't say for Emery. Emery is red. That's the color for her. Dark red, any shade of red. Magnolias as her flowers. And what was the other thing? I could not remember the other. Wasn't there three? I don't remember. I said that Emery is Rarity and Stella, and Lorelai would be green, a lily, could not remember the third category, oh my gosh. Um, a lily, which symbolizes innocence, by the way. There's a lot of flower symbolism. Magnolias symbolize elegance. Um, yes, so Lorelai is green, like this color. Whenever I wear green, I think about her. And green is actually my favorite color to wear. And brown. But Lorelai is definitely the earthy one, the witchy one, the one in tune with nature. She's very soft and quiet. And her and Catelyn definitely give weird girl, and I love that about them. That's why I relate to them so much. But green and lilies would definitely symbolize them. And oh, I remember, she's an earth child, and Emery's a moon child. Um, they do all have animals that they relate to as well. Catelyn is a white bird, and that has to do with her magic. And her heritage. Emery is a bear, and Lorelai is, I think it's a fox or a wolf, and a swan. Definitely, it was two of them. Yeah, but you will see in book 2 how she relates to all animals because of her power, and I will not give that away. I won't give too much away on that. Next, Aurora. Aurora she did not know the 3 girls before they came to FK because Emery, Lorelai, and Catelyn all lived in the same country. Aurora is the daughter of the principal of Forest Knowledge. So she's a spirit. She's a sun child, the opposite of Emery. She is the fashionista. I mean, so is Emery. Emery was raised as a proper lady, so she's all about fashion. But Aurora is the artist. She draws, she knits, she's going to FK for fashion design and to be a painter. That's what she does. She doesn't express her emotions. She puts anything dark into her work. So, growing up the principal's daughter, she obviously is a perfectionist. She's not allowed to express certain emotions, and that's actually part of my magic system where in Forest Knowledge or in the spirit realm, you are not allowed to express your darker power. And that does not mean evil, it just means there are 2 sides to everything, and it is frowned upon to express your darker power of your power. So, for example, her mom is a storm spirit, and her dad is a sun catcher, which is a sun spirit. She is both of them put together. But Aurora only expresses her sun self, and that is her flaw. That is her flaw that weighs her down in both of the books. And what I love about Aurora, I don't necessarily relate to her, especially because I'm not a sun child. But what I love about Aurora is that she's the most human out of all of them. And by book 2, you will really understand why that's important. But she's the most human out of all of them. And she was the one that was raised a spirit compared to all the others. And yeah, she's definitely a bubbly person. Everything about her is pink, and everything about her is pink and girly. I love her so much. But she's the most complex character out of all of them. And this is not a spoiler, really. Her and Catelyn end up together. In book 1. In book 1. I'll say that. Yes. So Aurora's a sun child. She's I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Olander, the flower, or azaleas. I actually have some right there. And pink is her flower, and her animal would be a butterfly. And in the book, butterfly symbolize freedom. Keep note of that. Next is Preston, the last character. He is the only boy. He symbolizes the universe. He is, I would say, he's the most evolved in magic out of all of them. I really can't give too much away when it comes to Preston. He's a mystery. And in the first book, the characters go on a journey to save spirits that are being oppressed by the antagonist organization that are designed to take down spirits. Preston wasn't initially involved in the mission, but he kind of builds a friendship with Catelyn, and she decides to bring him along. And one thing is Aurora and Preston do not like each other, or rather, Aurora does not like Preston. So this is kind of a conflict there. But yes, Preston is a gentleman. He's very kind. If you ever saw my book board in Pinterest, you would see the pins of the actor who plays Gilbert Blythe in Anne with an E, which is my favorite show, by the way. He is Gilbert Blythe. I will put it like that. If you have not watched Anne with an E, please do. Oh my gosh. I'm Anne, by the way. I'm Anne. But yes, please watch Anne with an E, because you will understand what I'm talking about when I say Preston is Gilbert Blythe, but with magic. He is so lovely. Yes. I really cannot give too much away, but I would say that he's a star child and an earth child. He's a mystery. He's a mystery that will be revealed in time. But I would say his color is purple or indigo. He also is going to FK for riding, for horse studies. Yes. And also, that's what I want to go to college for. Just putting that out there. Equine studies, yeah. But yeah, he loves animals, he loves nature, and he communicates with the stars. And his power is really breathtaking, but again, it will be revealed in time. Yes, that's Preston. I can't really relate him to a character because, other than Gilbert Blythe, like a My Little Pony character, because there aren't really men in My Little Pony, and he's definitely not Spike. So yeah, I couldn't compare him to one of them. But I would like to say that all the characters are necessary in the grand mission of saving the spirit realm. They all have to lean on each other, and I love that so much. Enough yapping about the characters. My next question is, what can readers look forward to the most from my book? I would say it is very complex. There's so much lore, but not in the way where it's hard to understand. It is very rich in fantasy, and the whole concept of my book, I want it to be like a storybook, like you're opening a medieval storybook. I mean, it's a mix of medieval and Regency, but it definitely it leans on medieval stories and folklore. And if you are a mythology nerd like me, you will notice all of the little treats of mythology from various cultures, mainly Greek, that I leave everywhere. So I think if you are a fantasy lover, you will love it. It is a romantasy. And I would definitely look at my Pinterest board to get the mood and to get the vibes if you need a little bit more convincing, because it really is an awesome story. And I open the book by saying, welcome to the story of stories, because you don't just get a story about the characters, you get the history of the spirit realm, of the deities, of the people they worship, of the kingdoms. It's incredible. And it took me, if you really think about it, it took me years to build on these concepts and these beliefs and these fantasies. So I definitely think that you should look forward to my book. It involves poems of mine, it involves spells and flower symbolism, and it's truly beautiful. And I think that if you love magic in any way, in any shape, you will love my book. And the reason why I keep referring it to my book instead of the title is because I love the title so much. I do not want it to get stolen. And that leans back on my first question. What intimidates me? Because I love the title. I love the title. And I'm also putting a quote on the back of the book cover, and it really symbolizes the title, and I love it. It has, hold on, it has 8, wait a second. Wait, I cannot count. Oh my gosh. It has it has 8 words in the title. It's a long title, and it's so lovely. It's so lovely. I can't even like put it in a abbreviation that's like a good abbreviation. Like it doesn't sound, it wouldn't be a good abbreviation, so I couldn't even do that. But I have a temporary title before I publish it, and it's called The Petaled Wings. So that's the temporary title until the true title gets announced. Also, I keep looking at my hair because I dyed my hair yesterday. That's why I have this, which came from the hair packet. I dyed it back to black. For all of high school, I've not been my natural hair color. I have had either highlights or brown. Lately, it was brown. Last year, I loved it so much. Last year, it was calico. Or at least my attempt at calico, but it was so lovely. And I think in April, I dyed my hair brown, but we didn't have enough dye because one packet of dye is not enough for my hair. So the highlights and the calico highlights that were still in it was still there. So off topic, but yeah. It feels so weird for it to be black again. It's been so long. It's been 2+ years probably since I've had black hair. So yeah. Anyways, my final, it's not really a question, but my closing of this interview, which I've enjoyed, are the things that you might not like about my book. Yes. Also, I have spearmint tea here. It's good for you, and also I want to be an herbalist when I grow up. I want to have an apothecary. I want to do all those lovely things related to magic and earth, like horses and like organic medicine. So I have spearmint tea. Yes. Sorry, I just sipped from the tea bag. Anyways, the last thing of today. Things that you might not like about my book. So, long chapters. Yeah. I think my longest chapter has been 20 pages. And you're probably like, oh, that's not a lot. But until you're reading and the chapter does not end or you're writing and you're writing for days with one chapter, spending days on one chapter, you will understand what I mean about how long it is. I'm sorry. The pacing is so necessary. This is my notebook that I use. And for a long time, most of my notes for the book was in my notes app, but I switched to here. For the last part of my book that I wrote, the beginning of part 2, I have it's like 2 sentences. Oh wait, it's on the back. 2 sentences per chapter about the scenes, and I never like going into full detail on what's supposed to happen in a chapter, because this is a writing tip. You cannot possibly dictate what you're going to write. You can have an idea, but when I tell you, when you start writing, it is not going to be exactly what you planned out. So don't even bother being so controlling about it, especially when you're too rigid about your ideas. It's not going to flow. And I'm a writer. Writing, some people are artists, some people are musicians. Writing is my most natural state. If anything in this universe, I was literally designed to be a writer, period. I have always written in any form. That's just who I am. So, as someone whose natural talent is writing, I tell you this with caution. Do not dictate your writing. It's not going to come out. It's not going to come out. Force, not flow. You hear it everywhere. Force, not flow. You need to definitely have an idea, a plot, a storyline. But if you go and write every single character and chapter in detail, it's just not going to happen. I cannot tell you. Foreshadowing is one of the main things in my book. There's so much foreshadowing, oh my gosh. But there's so much that I wrote in the first few chapters that comes out in the last few chapters. And I'm like, I did not even plan that. I did not even plan for all this to come together. So it is a divine act. Writing is a divine act, and it will come together. I promise you. Do not force it. So yeah, I just needed more space, so I ended up writing on a piece of paper. I have my map, which I will not show you, but I also have on the back of the map, I have a description for all of the different spirit types and all the different kingdoms and what kind of creatures live in those kingdoms. So, all here. And I will show you my writing process for the current amount of chapters I'm on. So I have different parts of parts. So right now I'm in part 2, because part 1 was already written. Part 2, once I split the books in half and made a book 1 and book 2, part 2 needed to be added onto. So I added a major conflict, and that's what I've been writing all this time since I split them in 2, which was I think I split it in May and didn't start writing until June. So I've been in part 2 ever since. So I finished part 2 1 out of 3, and the whole 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3 thing does not matter. It's just in the writing process. It has nothing to do with the reader. But part 2, 1 out of 3, I finished that. I'm currently on part 2, 2 out of 3. So I will show you. This was the first part of the writing process when it came to part 2. And then I have this and this, and all those little lines are chapters. So I have a lot to write. I cannot wait until part 2 is over because part 3 is already written and I will just copy and paste it from the conjoined Google Doc and put it into my new Word document for book 1. And all I have to do is edit. After that, all I have to do is edit. Part 1's done, part 3's done. I just have to finish writing part 2. It takes forever. It takes forever. Because when you really think about it, this is a story I've been working on for a very long time. And I come out of nowhere and out of conflict, I have to orchestrate it perfectly so it fits in, because I'm literally implanting a conflict in an already developed story. So yeah. But anyways, back to the chapters. Long chapters. Another thing that you might not like about my book is it is second chance romance. And this isn't even bad things, it's just putting it out there if you don't like these concepts. Second chance romance, there is a bisexual main character. And I know a lot of people are just weird about bi people. I'm not bi, I'm pan, but you know, a lot of people, whether they're homosexual or they are heterosexual, they do not like bisexual people. I don't know why, but anyways, yeah, my main character is bisexual, so hashtag bi awareness. Yeah. It is fantastical. It is magical. It is witchy. It is fairy-like. It is mystical. It is divine. It is a book that I wish existed. And I've seen writers on Pinterest say that they write the books they wish existed. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I am writing the book I wish existed. And all the things I believed, and all the aesthetics and concepts that I like, all the themes. Yeah. Also, it's friends to lovers. So that is also one of my favorite tropes. And I also like second chance. I never read a second chance book, but I also like that. I like when characters have a history rather than they're strangers and they start getting together. Yeah. Also, my favorite book is Once Upon a Broken Heart. So if that tells you anything on what this book is gonna be like, yeah. It is third person, but we get a taste of everyone's mind. It plays on real world themes such as oppression, colonization, and climate change. So if you don't like those, which I don't see why you would be opposed to hearing about oppression, colonization, and climate change, but I don't know. Yeah, it has to do with, it's not racism type of oppression, it's definitely between species, humans and spirits. It is definitely those two. It is out of this world. It's kind of like if you watch Descendants or Zombies, one of my favorite Disney movies, by the way. If you watch those, how there's always conflict between the monsters and the humans, or the different type of monsters, and the villain kids in Descendants and the kids of Ordon. That is a concept in media and literature. Many types of beings and creatures or classes or races symbolize our world and symbolize the racism and misogyny and homophobia and so many other concepts in our current world. So, yeah, it is like that. Everything is a giant metaphor. If there's anything that's right about me, I love figurative language. That's why I'm a poet. But yeah, and climate change. And as a nature girly, global warming and climate change is definitely something I'm an advocate for. and I want to push that narrative in my books. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I was supposed to stop at 30 minutes, but obviously I went to 40. I'm a yapper, so I'm a yapper when I'm alone. I'm a yapper when it comes to my interest. Other than that, if there was someone here interviewing me, I would not be able to speak. And I'm sure I'll do proper interviews in the future, but for now, since I'm a mess in here and my ideas are all over the place, I want to address you guys alone. But thank you. Look forward to more content once a month regarding my book. And in a week, or a little bit more than a week, my July vlog will be out, since I always post 2 vlogs each summer. And if you want proof of that, go watch my 2 vlogs from last year when I went to my country, Guadeloupe, and when I spent some time with my friends. So go watch those vlogs, go support my poems, and my website and my Instagram, my personal and my writing Instagram will all be down below. And I have a business called Pink and Petals with my friend Callie. If you want to support that, I'll also put it in the description below. So thank you. And like the quote on my computer that I wrote here, create more than you consume. Bye bye.